Number 10, the medal mix-up. Eagle-eyed royal watchers have spotted what appears to be an embarrassing error on the coronation medal. The nickel-silver medal, which will be given to more than 400,000 people for their efforts to support the coronation, features the new king's royal cipher surrounded by a laurel wreath. The other side of the award, which also features a blue, white, and red ribbon, is decorated with portraits of the king and queen who were crowned in the ceremony at Westminster Abbey. In some lights, the date listed on the award looks as if it says 6 May 2033, a full decade after the coronation. But anyone concerned about receiving a medal with the wrong date can breathe a sigh of relief. The date on the medal is the correct one. Launching the medal on Friday morning, Culture Secretary Lucy Fraser said the coronation medal will act as a reminder of the important part each person has played in this moment of history. From our armed forces who protect our country to the emergency services who care for us at home, alongside those volunteers who are giving up their time to make this event so special, I am delighted that we can make their contribution to this special day and for each and every day that they go above and beyond serving their country. I mean, it's kind of poetic, but they could have done a better job with the date, at least. But anyway, number 9, Andrew. The extremely problematic brother of Charles was in attendance, and obviously, what he's partaken in is horrible and extremely embarrassing and pretty much very disgusting for the royal family. But unlike Harry, Andrew hasn't self-deported and dramatically burned bridges with the family. So excluding him from the coronation entirely was apparently never on the table. The Duke of York was there, but you may have had a hard time spotting him. Andrew had been barred from standing on the balcony at Buckingham Palace since he's not a working royal. He is still a Knight of the Garter though, and they traditionally play a significant role in the coronation. 4 knights surrounded Queen Elizabeth II during her anointing, but it sounds like the ceremony has changed to exclude the prince entirely. Andrew may even be banned from wearing his garter robes to the festivities, which has reportedly left him furious. But the last thing the palace wants to do is put a giant feather cap on the family member it would most like everyone to forget about. Number 8, Harry. Harry attended his father's crowning ceremony, but Meghan, not in attendance. So while California may come calling for Harry soon, he held off until his father's coronation passed. But I'm sure the royal family will understand if he needs a moment to catch up on his Birkenstocks and avocados. It was definitely a bittersweet moment when Harry returned to the UK, but he wasn't alone. While Meghan won't be by his side, she'll certainly be with him in spirit. After all, distance makes the heart grow fonder. Number 7, Meghan and Harry's kids were not invited. Harry and Meghan's email invitation did not mention their children, so it's unclear if the palace meant to include Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. Also, the coronation was scheduled on the same day as Archie's 4th birthday. The palace seemed uninterested in clarifying whether Charles's 2 youngest grandchildren are welcome at his coronation. Per the Telegraph, asked if Archie and Lilibet were invited, one royal simply noted that they were very young. On April 12, Buckingham Palace confirmed Archie and Lilibet will not attend. On to number 6, the public is being asked to swear allegiance to Charles. For the first time, the plebs can pledge themselves to their monarch. The part of the ceremony where hereditary peers assembled in Westminster Abbey swear fealty to the new king is being replaced by an homage of the people. The Archbishop of Canterbury will invite all who so desire, whether following the service in the Abbey and elsewhere, to repeat the words, "I swear that I will pay true allegiance to your majesty and to your heirs and successors according to law, so help me God." People seem to find swearing their allegiance to Charles from their couch creepy. As the Daily Beast reports, Labour MP Clive Lewis said he thought the oath would be either unwelcome or ignored by many. The anti-monarchist organization Republic called the move offensive and tone-deaf and noted asking people to swear allegiance to Charles and his heirs means swearing allegiance to Andrew. In a democracy, it is the head of state who should swear allegiance to us. Number 5, Camillas Crown features a stolen diamond. Previous queens and queen consorts, including Charles's mother, have worn a crown containing the famous 105-carat Kohinoor diamond to coronations. It was assumed that Camilla would do the same, but that could set off an international incident. Several nations have laid claim to the diamond, and India has repeatedly demanded that Britain return it. In its place, Camillas Crown will feature a brilliant new diamond loaned to the crown by the Queen. Never one to make a statement without sending a subtle message. Her Majesty has ensured that the Kohinoor diamond is still seen at coronations, but not in its original form. A fitting reminder of the British Empire's checkered history. The Queen has loaned the crown a sparkling new diamond that is sure to draw everyone's eye. With this replacement, Camilla will shine as brightly as any previous Queen consort or royal bride, and without risking an international incident. What could be more British than avoiding controversy at all costs? Cheers to Her Majesty for finding a diplomatic solution. The palace has figured out how to avoid the crisis and a real reckoning with Britain's colonial legacy. The Kohinoor diamond will be moved to a new display at the Tower of London that recognizes it as a symbol of conquest, though to be clear, the British aren't giving it back. Number 4, people think the coronation invitation features a pagan symbol. All the coronation symbols have a nature spring vibe, but the people were shocked to see the green man on the invitation as it's associated with paganism. The royal family Twitter account described the green man as an ancient figure from British folklore. In an interview with Slate, Francis Young, a historian and folklorist, explained that's not actually true. In his words, I spent a lot of time trying to debunk the idea that the Green Man is an ancient figure from British folklore. He's a made-up figure of 20th century folklore. He isn't actually an ancient pagan symbol. While a humanoid face with leaves does show up regularly in churches, cathedrals, and abbeys, it was likely seen as a sort of joke in ancient times. But an article written by a prominent folklorist in 1939 erroneously linked it to other Old English symbols, and it became a part of modern pagan mythology. The Green Man was probably included on the invitation to highlight King Charles's love of the outdoors and his climate activism, not to send a subversive message. But what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. Is it a pagan symbol? Is it not? I don't know. Number 3, Camillas Grandchildren will have a significant role in the coronation. The Queen Consort's 5 teenage grandchildren did have a role in the ceremony, which left some royal commentators upset. Not because including the monarch's step-grandchildren is a break with tradition, but because this leak emerged before news about George's role in the event. In the same April 5 announcement about George's role, the palace confirmed that Camilla will be attended by her 3 grandsons and her great-nephew during the ceremony. The Times of London has described her decision to go with relatives rather than duchesses as a bold move. Number 2, Joe Biden. The coronation of the British monarch is and has been an extravagant affair, but one key guest was missing. While world leaders from around the globe have been invited to witness Charles's crowning moment, US President Joe Biden did not attend. Is that a snub? A sign that he has something else more important on his plate? Or simply a decision made out of respect for royal protocol? Who knows with Mr. Biden? What we do know is that this unexpected twist adds an extra layer of intrigue to what's already shaping up to be an unforgettable event. And it's guaranteed to give gossip plenty of material for months to come. On April 4, the White House confirmed that Biden will skip the coronation, with First Lady Jill Biden leading a US delegation to the UK in his stead. American officials noted that it isn't unusual. In fact, no previous US president has attended a British monarch's coronation. But while Biden attended Queen Elizabeth's funeral, he hasn't met with Charles since. The White House said the president looks forward to meeting with the king at a future date. He did not expect to see him when he traveled to Northern Ireland in April. So maybe he does want to show Charles who's in charge here. And finally, number 1, yes, Prince Charles had a huge role in the coronation. The palace is giving Prince George, who is second in line to the throne, but also 9, to have a prominent role in the coronation. Royal commentator Tom Quinn told The Express that there are disagreements behind the scenes about how much the lad can handle. In his words, I've heard from my contacts that there is a bit of an argument going on about whether George should play a more formal role. He said, I've heard that Kate and William are worried that it will be too much for him. Charles, who was 4 during his mother's 1953 coronation, did not take any part in any of the processions. On April 5, the palace announced that George will serve as a page to the king during the ceremony along with 3 other boys. The royals decided that George and Princess Charlotte, who is 7, could handle being part of the royal family procession behind the queen's coffin in September, so this wasn't a big surprise. The Times of London reported March 17 that leaked plans show George, Charlotte, and 4-year-old brother Prince Louis will join Charles and Camilla as they exit Westminster Abbey, then ride back to Buckingham Palace in a carriage with their parents.
Number 10. It's possible that Meghan also decided that she didn't want to deal with a crowd that might yell at her, or that she didn't want to enter a hostile environment fueled by British tabloid newspapers, which is something she was perfectly entitled to do. However, some will argue that she ought to be by Harry's side supporting him during this significant event for his family. Since Prince Harry's popularity is declining, presenting a united front may benefit the both of them. While some of the couple's supporters will be disappointed not to see them together at this event, others will be pleased that Meghan and Harry chose to shield Meghan from criticism as much as possible if they attended. The fact of the matter is that neither Harry nor Meghan believe that they are required to attend the coronation for the sake of either their own brand or the royal family's brand. They are carrying it out the way they always have with the Sussexes. Had Harry and Meghan chose to go together, this would have achieved an entirely separate arrangement of sentiments. They would be blamed for attempting to take the spotlight by turning up together, and in the event that they had both chosen to remain away, they would have been marked narrow-minded. One thing is for certain, no matter what choice they made, they couldn't be right for being wrong. Number 9, not on good terms with the in-laws. When the news of Harry and Meghan's move out of Kensington Palace to strike out on their own first broke in November of 2018, the public and the press came to a unanimous conclusion as to why that would be. Meghan. Everyone pointed the finger at the new royal, suggesting her alleged difficult Duchess attitude was not just reserved for the staff and had caused a feud between her and Kate. Obviously, all that turned out to be untrue. The Sussexes were expecting a baby and wanted more space than a 2-bedroom apartment they lived in at Kensington Palace. Kate and Meg have always had problems. It came out in November that there was a ton of tension between the royal family, as Kate and Meghan were not getting along. This meant that Prince Harry and Prince William were also not getting along, and the whole family just wasn't seeing eye to eye. This was super hard on everyone, but especially the Queen. Queen Liz was actually so fed up with the drama, she made Kate and Meghan sit down and sort it out. While a few hints have been given on why the royal family wasn't getting along, it was never really revealed why Kate had a problem with Meghan. Prince William was not happy about Prince Harry and Meghan moving out of Windsor, and Prince Harry also felt his brother didn't welcome Meghan with open arms. Despite the fact that Meghan and Kate have nothing in common, Kate had other reasons she did not like Meghan. Coming in at number 8, Abrasive. Meghan was accused of abrasive behavior towards staff members and diplomats, according to the explosive royal biography due to be released this week, looking back at the Sussexes' visit to Sydney, Australia, where they received an amazing reception. Bauer writes, Meghan was allegedly abrasive towards her 4 female staff and even towards the local British diplomats. According to one report, Meghan allegedly threw a cup of tea into the air. Not the tea. He continued by saying that her anger may have been partly fueled by Harry. Every night he trawled social media searching for snide comments on the internet. Every morning he and Meghan turned on their phones to surf the internet. That doesn't sound very healthy to me. Australia, as covered in past videos, didn't seem to be as fun as the couple may have hoped, and it's been reported they were feeling down in the down under. Number 7, doing what she wants. It seems like Meg was trying to make a point by going to vote even though royals are forbidden to do so. After she posted a picture of her wearing a sticker indicating that she had gone to vote, it was not well received in the UK. And even though she is no longer an official member of the royal family, she is not permitted to abide by these laws. But it definitely is savage of her to do this knowingly since she is married into the family. Number 6, her short temper. Meghan and Harry's whirlwind romance has been in the spotlight pretty much since they got together. With fans and haters watching their every move, this couple is used to getting lots of attention, whether they like it or not. When Harry got with Meg, people started watching Meg like a hawk, dissecting her every move. Naturally, when you are part of the royals, people are going to be more inclined to know what you're like. As someone part of the royal family, displaying strong emotions is not necessarily expected, especially in a public setting. After being invited as a guest speaker to the Power of Women charity benefit, Meg seemed irritated after pictures of her were published where she was seen lashing out at an employee in the parking lot. Pics published in the Daily Mail show her looking pretty ticked off while pointing directly at someone. Some believe she was scolding one of her employees, while others say she was letting a parking attendant have it. Coming in at number 5, mistreating staff. Leading up to the Oprah interview, The Times reported accusations that Meghan mistreated her palace aides and staff prior to the 2020 exit. While Meghan denied the allegations, noting in a statement to Us in March 2021 that she was saddened by the latest attack on her character, the palace revealed they were investigating the claims. According to an insider, the couple's inner circle believes that Buckingham Palace's statement was a direct response to the upcoming interview. So what are your thoughts? Do you think they're being genuine about their efforts or trying to get the two to not reveal anything too problematic going on in the household? The assumptions from friends close to Meghan and Harry is that the palace has released a statement to strike back at Harry and Meghan for doing the tell-all interview, the source said. The palace knows that they will not be cast in the best light by Harry and Meghan on Sunday and doesn't want Harry and Meghan coming off as victims. Number 4, blaming the firm. During the multi-day hearing, in a written statement, Harry once again blamed the institution, meaning the royal family, and the firm, for being at the heart of all his privacy troubles by preventing him from learning sooner about the activity of the Daily Mail and related publications by withholding information about phone hacking by other tabloids. This on top of previous board sides against Queen Camilla calling King Charles's wife a wicked stepmother and harshly speculating to Anderson Cooper during a CNN interview that perhaps she'd be less dangerous if she was happy. Number 3, spare. Last December, it seemed as if Harry and Meghan were merely trying to profit off their Netflix series that unleashed one salacious detail after one another about the firm. By the time Harry's autobiography Spare was released in January, it was clear something far deeper and more ominous was in play in terms of national security. As Harry banded about his truths, only for the wayward Prince and Meghan to become a caricature of themselves in a South Park episode, the two would-be Hollywood monarchs continued to remain oblivious to the damage they were doing to the West as a whole and the United Kingdom in particular. Number 2, not working royals. Since they left the royal family in 2020, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have not worked, so there's a good chance he won't be on the balcony with the rest of the family. King Charles is likely to be joined by Queen Camilla, Prince William, Kate Middleton, and their children, Prince George, who is 9 years old, Princess Charlotte, who is 7 years old, and Prince Louis, who is 4. Finally, number 1, Archie's birthday. The coronation is taking place on May 6 at Westminster Abbey in London, which just so happens to be Prince Archie's 4th birthday. Therefore, Markle will remain in California to commemorate the occasion with their 22-month-old daughter, Princess Lilibet, and Prince Archie. She owes us absolutely nothing. I know how significant birthday celebrations are to kids. It's an approach to showing how she focuses on her own family and is making her preschooler's birthday additionally unique by remaining behind to accompany him. It must have been a challenging decision for Prince Harry, but ultimately he decided to attend his father's coronation. A source told People that Harry wanted to be at the service to support his father at this important moment in his life.
Starting off with number 10, Andrew. Due to Andrew's allegations of SA, Charles is said to have deliberately sidelined his younger brother from participating in the ceremony and from waving on the balcony afterwards, a prestigious post. He did not stop Andrew from attending, however, nor did he ban him from wearing his plush ceremonial robes as had been reported. Andrew indeed walked in through the main entrance at Westminster Abbey on Saturday morning, bows and chains and all. At least he was booed as his state car drove him along the mall, though. Not as awkward as deserved and expected. Number 9, coronation costs. The Kingdom, the UK, is currently dealing with a cost of living crisis. Since the coronation is a state event, it will be paid for by the UK government with an estimated cost between 50 to 100 million pounds. Having an event that costs millions while everyday folks are struggling to make ends meet is simply not a good look. The defense of the cost is that it will bring in a boon to the economy, specifically in the hospitality industry, but that remains to be seen. In the meantime, let's just all sit back and enjoy the show. But let's keep our fingers crossed that the British monarchy comes up with a solution to this cost of living crisis before it's too late. After all, no one wants to be stuck footing the bill for an extravagant coronation while citizens are left struggling to survive. At least we can take comfort in knowing that the monarchy will always be ready to provide us with a few moments of pageantry. In the meantime, let's all hope for an economic recovery soon. On to number 8, Harry and Meg. When Harry's memoir Spare came out, there was quite a bit of hand-wringing about what Harry revealed in his book, including intimate details about his relationships with his brother and stepmother Queen Camilla. In an interview, ITV's Tom Bradby asked Harry if he would come to the coronation, to which Harry said, "There was a lot that can happen between now and then, but the door is always open. The ball is in their court. There's a lot to be discussed, and I really hope that they're willing to sit down and talk about it." We now know that Harry did attend, but Meghan and their kids stayed back home in Montecito to celebrate Archie's birthday. All eyes were on Harry at Westminster Abbey, and no, he did not interact with Prince William or his sister-in-law Kate Middleton, at least in front of the cameras. But what's his relationship like with King Charles? We'll never know. Will he take the opportunity to write a new chapter in his relationship with his family? Regardless of what happens, one thing is certain: Prince Harry's presence was an unforgettable moment. Number 7, the homage of the people. One of the biggest differences between King Charles's coronation and past is the homage part of the ceremony. Instead of which all the royal princes paying homage, which would include Prince William, Harry, Andrew, and Edward, only Prince William will do so on behalf of the whole royal family. To replace the homage of the peers, the ceremony adds an homage of the people where the Archbishop of Canterbury will say, "I call upon all persons of goodwill of the UK, of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of the other realms and the territories to make their homage in heart and voice to their undoubted king, defender of all." In response, all who so desire, both in Westminster Abbey and elsewhere, will pledge, "I swear that I will pay true allegiance to your majesty and to your heirs and successors according to law, so help me God." The Church of England notes in its annotated liturgy, this is a new and significant moment in the tradition of the coronation. Never before in our history have the general public been offered such an opportunity to join with national figures in declaring their allegiance to a new sovereign. The homage of the people has not been received positively by, well, many of the people. Good Morning Britain, a British morning show, asked its Twitter followers if they would participate. 86% said they wouldn't. Republic, the anti-monarchist group, said, "In a democracy, it is the head of state who should swear allegiance to us. This as an offensive and tone-deaf gesture that holds the people in contempt." Number 6, controversial scepters. Many of Britain's crown jewels are controversial, especially the Kohinoor diamond at the center of the Queen Mother's coronation crown. Queen Camilla did not wear it, instead wore Queen Mary's crown. But 2 scepters that were used are viewed as problematic. The sovereign scepter with cross and the queen consort's rod with dove. The first features the Cullinan diamond, also known as the Great Star of Africa, a diamond discovered in a mine in South Africa in 1905 after British colonization. The Cullinan diamond must be returned to South Africa with immediate effect, activist Thandusolo Sabelo told South Africa's Times the past fall. Sabelo added, "The minerals of our country and other countries continue to benefit Britain at the expense of our people." University of South Africa professor Evaristo Benheira told CNN that he views the gem as a blood diamond. Other parts of the
Cullinan diamond featured in Charles's imperial state crown and in Camillas Crown. The rod Camilla was given during the ceremony is also controversial, made in 1685 and made of ivory. In 2014, Prince William reportedly campaigned for all items containing ivory removed from the royal collection. Dr. Paula Kaumbu, executive director of Wildlife Direct, said at the time, 99% of ivory that is in people's hands comes from elephants being gunned down. Handing it in shows I'm gonna wash my hands of this despicable business. It shows the royals are not above taking a practical personal action. It would probably result in similar support from other countries. Using the ivory scepter is against this entirely. Number 5, the star power or lack thereof at the coronation concert. On Sunday evening, royals attended a concert at Windsor Castle to celebrate the coronation. Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, Take That, and more were slated to perform at the concert, but reportedly, they were not the palace's first choice. Apparently, Harry Styles, Elton John, Adele, the Spice Girls, and Ed Sheeran all said no to performing at the concert. A source told the Daily Mail the king has suggested a number of people he would like to perform, and Adele and Ed were on that list. He was very keen that they were part of the concert. There is a team set up to get the talent signed up, but they are unavailable, which was a massive disappointment. They are titans of the showbiz industry and are quintessentially British, but also known across the globe. Such a shame. Number 4, Queen Camilla's title. When Charles and Camilla married, the royal family said she would be known as HRH, the Prince's Consort, when Charles accedes to the throne. Last year, Queen Elizabeth weighed in on the question of Camilla's title, writing in her Platinum Jubilee message, "It is my sincere wish that when that time comes, Camilla will be known as Queen Consort as she continues her own loyal service." After the passing of Elizabeth, the palace confirmed Camilla would use the Queen Consort title, but after the coronation, she will likely just go by Queen Camilla, as revealed on the coronation invitation. This isn't that controversial, but it is dredging up the controversy surrounding the origins of her relationship with Charles, which began while he was still married to Diana. Number 3, the controversial invites. One RSVP on the guest list for the coronation has caused uproar in Northern Ireland. Michelle ONeill, the vice president of Republican Party Sinn Féin, formerly the political wing of the Provisional IRA, Sinn Féin does not recognize British sovereignty in Northern Ireland nor the British monarch. Per the BBC, Sinn Féin MPs do not take their seats in Westminster, partly because they are required to take an oath of allegiance to the head of the royal family. So why is ONeill attending? She said, "I am an Irish Republican. I also recognize there are many people on our island for whom the coronation is a hugely important occasion. I'm committed to being a First Minister for all, representing the whole community, building good relations between the people of these islands, and advancing peace and reconciliation through respectful and mature engagement." She was accompanied by Alex Maskey, Speaker of the Northern Ireland Assembly. This was a controversial decision. Northern Irish politician Jerry Carroll tweeted, James Connolly stood against the British monarchy, describing it as the tyranny imposed by the hand of greed and treachery upon the human race. He would turn in his grave to see the likes of Michelle ONeill and Alex Maskey supporting the coronation of the British king, which is all about rehabilitating the monarchy, an institution steeped in privilege, racism, and imperialism. Many critiques were along similar lines. Number 2, the British monarchy itself. This is an existential drama, but a real one. Should the British monarchy continue? The coronation of King Charles has become a real moment of reckoning for the future of the monarchy itself. A YouGov poll commissioned by BBC's Panorama found that only 32% of 18 to 25-year-olds believe the monarchy should exist. As Victoria Murphy wrote in Town and Country, as the public lines the streets this weekend, whether it be to show a rousing support for the monarchy or out of curiosity for this unique moment in history, they will be treated to a display that no one has seen for 70 years. The monarchy has a lot to gain or lose from whether they come away feeling like they have witnessed a powerful showcase of Britain today or something that belongs in the past. And finally, number 1, Prince William successfully pretended Harry didn't exist. William was rumored to be angriest of all the royals, supposedly lobbying Charles against inviting Harry and refusing to say one more word to him than necessary. William is still upset about Harry's book, an ET source claimed last month. He feels it was a betrayal. Harry accused his older brother of physically attacking him, repeatedly painted him as jealous, patronizing, and a hothead, and made disparaging remarks about William's hairline. No surprise then that William diligently avoided acknowledging his little brother's existence at the Abbey.
And at number 10, it's a modernized coronation. Billed as a solemn religious event, Charles's modernized coronation is expected to be a reflection of the monarch's role in today's society while being rooted in long-standing long-standing traditions and pageantry. As you can see, many of the long-standing traditions and ancient rituals will return to Westminster Abbey for Charles's coronation. However, there will be a significant difference between the king's ceremony and that of his late mother, Queen Elizabeth II. Number 9. Different dress codes. Queen Elizabeth showed out in full ceremonial robes made from crimson velvet and ermine for her coronation. Under that, a satin gown embroidered with pearls and crystals. But King Charles's dress code will be a lot more relaxed. So no fancy fabrics and pearls here for King Charles. He might even break tradition and wear his military uniform in honor of the brave servicemen and women who have served their country selflessly. Of course, we can't forget that he will be crowned with the same royal crown as Queen Elizabeth II. So whatever uniform he does choose to wear, it'll still feel like an occasion worthy of kings and queens. With all eyes on him, hopefully Charles won't forget to put on his shoes, or else there's sure to be plenty of chatter about it. No matter what outfit he chooses though, we know one thing is for certain. His coronation will be remembered for years to come. Number 8. What is the Kohinoor diamond? This decision was definitely for the better, so a big thumbs up to whoever is in charge. The Kohinoor diamond is one of the most renowned and contentious diamond artifacts in the world. It is an integral part of the British crown jewels, and its history is steeped in controversy. First discovered in India's mines in 1635, it was presented as a gift to Shah Jahan, a Mughal ruler, who then set it upon his throne as a symbol of power. In 1849, the diamond was then stolen from its rightful owner by the East India Company and sent to Britain as a tribute for Queen Victoria. Over time, the diamond has become increasingly entwined with British royalty and has been passed down throughout generations of monarchs. Most recently, in 1911, King George V removed it from Queen Mary's crown and placed it within Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother's crown, where it currently remains today. However, given its dark past of colonization and exploitation, it is thought that Queen Camilla will not wear the Queen Mother's crown during her coronation ceremony, instead opting to wear Queen Mary's crown, which doesn't contain the diamond. Number 7. Anointing a king and a queen. However, large questions remain regarding how a ceremony rooted in 1,000 years of history might be adapted for the 21st century without the release of the order of service or other broader indications of how everything might play out. Given that we've had further details about the service, such as the role for Prince George and the Page Boys, Prescott wrote in an email, it becomes increasingly curious that there is still a lack of information about the service itself. It is widely believed that the service will be shorter than Elizabeth's 1953 coronation, which lasted 3 hours, but how long will it take? Even though royal ceremonies typically begin around 10:30 or 11 a.m., no start time has been specified. We know that it will be a shorter ceremony, but in contrast to that ceremony, this one will involve the crowning and anointing of both a king and a queen. Number 6. Division. The coronation has been described as a stripped down affair as millions of Britons struggle with rising living costs and rising energy costs. According to Smith, now we have a situation where there's a lot of division and economic uncertainty. Smith sees a parallel in the dire economic situation that exists today. Thus, we see the ruler attempting to find some kind of harmony between respecting the practice and underlining the principles of the service while recognizing that England is altogether different. King Charles III and his predecessors also have significant differences in age. Camilla is 75 and Charles is 74. Queen Elizabeth II walked down Westminster Abbey by herself when she was only 27 years old, symbolizing the promise of youth. On the day they were crowned, her father, George, was only 41 years old and the Queen Mother was only 36. However, the Sunday Times reports that Charles's eldest son, William, Prince of Wales, who is next in line to the throne and will be the only one permitted to kneel before his father and kiss his right cheek during the ceremony, will represent the promise of youth at the coronation this weekend. People say that he will demonstrate what the next generation is going to look like by being front and center in this manner. Number 5, breaking tradition. As excitement builds for Charles's coronation as a new king, many are wondering if he will choose to follow his mother's example and be anointed in private. But according to the Telegraph, Charles may break with centuries-old history and allow the public to witness this momentous event. In preparation for such an occasion, a special see-through canopy is going to be made especially for His Majesty, which would make it the first time ever that a British monarch has been anointed in public view, with some speculating that the king will emerge in all his glory with a sparkly crown and a golden scepter. It would certainly be quite a festive affair. Number 4, a shorter ceremony. The coronation process of King Charles III and Queen Camilla is said to be a fraction of the size and expense of his mother's back in 1953. While Her Majesty's convoy required an entourage of 16,000 people and a 5-mile journey through a rainy London, Charles and Camillas will travel only 1.3 miles through a much more condensed route, in an effort to make sure the subjects can enjoy the ceremony from the comfort and safety of their homes. In keeping with the current monarch's less extravagant vision for the event, there will be just 2,000 guests welcomed at the ceremony. Queen Elizabeth's coronation was attended by a whopping 8,250 people. The estimated cost for Queen Elizabeth's coronation was about $2.9 million, or get this, about $92 million in today's money. But Charles's ceremony is expected to be significantly cheaper due to its shortened length, hopefully allowing taxpayers to at least keep some of their hard-earned cash. Coming in at number 3, the Queen's was one of a kind. When the beloved Queen Elizabeth II ascended to the throne, she made a revolutionary move and decided to televise her coronation in Westminster Abbey. This marked a significant shift from the long-standing tradition of the British Monarchy as a highly private affair. This was a move that allowed the nation to come together for such a special occasion. When Queen Elizabeth took the throne, she still had a regal presence, but now we may know too much of the family's dirty laundry to hold them in such esteem. Fast forwarding to the modern age, where digital technology has deeply impacted various aspects of life, King Charles's coronation ceremony is likely to be experienced differently than his mother's. Instead of simply viewing it on TV, people will probably catch glimpses of it on their smartphones throughout the day. However, instead of being just a solemn event to honor royal majesty, social media has certainly changed things up, transforming it into an opportunity for people around the world to comment on everything from Camilla's outfits and hairstyles to King Charles's every gesture. Taking over the number 2 spot, 2 different eras. Charles faces a huge challenge to live up to his mother's legacy and restore the monarchy's relevance in the 21st century. With Brexit further fragmenting the United Kingdom, it is no easy challenge for Charles to remain a unifying force for all of Britain's citizens. After decades of anticipating being crowned king, he must now prove himself as an effective monarch with a modern vision that not only resonates with his subjects but also celebrates the vast diversity within them. It will be interesting to see how Charles handles this unique position and whether he can keep up with Elizabeth's reputation as one of Britain's most beloved monarchs. Only time will tell. Finally, taking over our number 1 spot, swearing their allegiance to the king. At the Queen's coronation, all the dukes in attendance solemnly knelt before her and swore an oath of loyalty to her by promising to become her loyal liege, men and women for life, and to faithfully serve, protect, live and die by her side against anyone who dares to challenge her. As a sign of their commitment, the dukes vowed to bear truth and faith unto Her Majesty. Furthermore, upon King Charles' ascension to the throne, only one person will need to pay homage to him: Prince William. This means that neither Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, nor Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, will have to kneel before the king in order to swear allegiance. What a turn of events! These dukes have been relieved from their knightly duties and can rest easy knowing that their loyalty need not to be tested. No longer will they face the daunting task of swearing loyalty to the king or queen. Now, that is all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one.